Hi, Michelle. My name is Heather Ann Hendrickson. I'm a team leader and educational services representative with Usborne Books and More. And I am so excited that you're coming to Nicole's Book Look. I cannot wait to share some books with you tonight. But especially being a newbie, I mean, that's just awesome. I can't wait to give you a broad overview of everything that we have. But I wanted to focus in on your 4 readers today and give you just a sneak peek at books that I think will go great with their ages and interests or their areas of struggle. So I wanted to first start with your almost 2-year-old. So I love animals. And so a lot of our books do feature animals, and so I wanted to share some with you. Now, of course, at 2, they're still very much a tactile learner, so they're going to be playing with their books rather than actually picking them up to read. And so I wanted to give you just some great ones to think about for that. This is our playbook series. This is Baby's very first playbook, Animal Words. I love this one because you have the animals over here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's laser cuts into this page, so it's tactile for them. They want to really feel it. There's also these great finger trails on the pages, and again, the laser cuts on every page. I like it because you have the animals or the materials that are in this picture over here, but they're not exactly the same. So can you find the bear? Well, the bear over here looks like this. They have to translate that into this bear over here looking like that. I love that this book really has them thinking along the way. It has such great scenes in it that are fun and colorful and that kids absolutely adore. So check out our playbook series. That one's fun. I love this one. This is a touchy-feely series. There is an on-off switch here in the back, which is wonderful. So don't tickle the lion. You might make him roar. And then, of course, it's a touchy-feely area that has a small button underneath that they push when they're doing that. And it works to make the sounds. Now, I love that it explores sounds that we don't typically hear from animals. So I have no idea what a zebra does. So in this case, it giggles. And it's the actual animal sound for the zebra. I love these books. There's 3 of them in the series. Don't Tickle the Lion, Don't Tickle the Hippo, and Don't Tickle the Dinosaur. So check those out if you think he'd love that. Last but not least for him, I wanted to share this one. Animal Hide and Seek is one of my favorite. It has an overhaul. This is an older edition. It's had an overhaul to make it more Poppy and Sam oriented. Poppy and Sam are the stars of our Farmyard Tales. And in fact, Stephen Cartwright illustrated all of our Farmyard Tales books, and they are a theme from babies all the way up through early readers. So take a look at those Farmyard Tales, but I love the fact this one deals with numbers, and it is touchy-feely. There are flaps. They are secure flaps. We'll talk about our 50% replacement guarantee tonight. Nice if something does happen to your books. And then, of course, there is a little yellow duck hidden on every page of a Stephen Cartwright illustrated book. And it just gives another layer to make it a little bit more fun for kids to read through. Farmyard Tales is one of my favorite books to read with my kids because my daughter pops up and finds the hidden duck on every page, and it's a dual reader, so my son's reading the top part before I read the bottom part. So it's a family affair, and we have lots of fun. So check those out. This is Animal Hide and Seek. Farmyard Tales is another one that is up for a little bit higher age. Okay, now your 6-year-old animal lover, and I love that she loves horses. That is so awesome. Horses are so fun to be around. We actually have some that live across the street. I grew up raising horses and riding, so I love that she's loving horses. I wanted to mention these. These are the little sticker dolly dressing books, and we have one for horses. I love these books. The concept of the books is great. It gives them a little scenario, and it gives children that they need to clothe. It almost put it on like a puzzle. And what's great about it is this is page 4 and 5. So you can go to the back and find page 4 and 5's stickers. They are perforated, so you can pull them out and you can move them over so they don't have to sit there and go back and forth to actually do the stickers. So I love these guys. They're almost like Legos or you know what they are? They're like paper dolls, but with stickers. So I love these guys. They're so much fun. Okay, I also wanted to mention this one. This happens to be our illustrated series. This is illustrated by Lace Stories. I love reading these as bedtime stories. We have one that's called Horses and Ponies. It is absolutely beautiful. I love the illustrations that are in these books. They're short stories. There is a ribbon to keep their place. I love them as bedtime stories, and of course, we're still reading to our kids. So we read all the way up through high school with our kiddos. It's so important to keep reading to them. And so these make great stories all the way up. They're great family stories too. Okay. I also wanted to mention this one. This is a new one. This is That's a Job. I Like Animals. What jobs are there? There is stuff for horses in here, which I thought was really cool. See, of course, on the cover, they have that. But it also gives a bunch of information about what people can do with animals and the different jobs that they have. It's not just be a vet. It's not just be a dog groomer. There's lots of things that you can do with animals if you like animals. So check out this book. It is phenomenal and right up her age range. Last but not least, I wanted to mention this one. I always have to throw a nonfiction in, and since you say she loves to read, this one might be perfect. This is Life Size. At 6, really all the way up through late 7, early 8, they're comparing themselves to the world around them instead of objects to other objects. So this book does just that. This is Life Size, and on every page, or every other page, you're going to find a life-size picture of something. This happens to be an elephant's toenails. And it gives them a prompt to compare themselves to that elephant. And it gives them information about the animals that it's looking for. So this is a tiny, tiny hummingbird. This hummingbird is called a bee hummingbird. And it is so small. That is the actual size of the bee hummingbird. Or how about this? Give a high five to a polar bear. The actual size of that polar bear's paw. So it compares the child to the other, to the animal out in the wild. And I love this. This is a giant squid's eye. And my favorite is this one. I dare any child to look at this page and not go, I have a picture, very first time my son ever saw this book. That was the first thing he did. He still pulls this out. He's 7.5 and he's had it for almost 2 years now. And he still pulls it out all the time and looks at it and compares himself. So it's a great book to get that nonfiction into those girls that love to read, or those kids that love to read. Okay, moving on to your 8-year-old who doesn't like to read. And I wanted to grab some nonfiction just to kind of share. Since you said that nonfiction is something that they actually gravitate towards, we have a ton of nonfiction. I taught middle and high school science and math. Nonfiction is actually what drew me to the company. I had a ton of these books before I ever knew there was an actual company that I could work for. So Usborne Publishing is amazing with nonfiction. They want material that's up here, present it to younger kids down here so that they can grasp. So they don't dumb down the material in the least. They keep the material high, they just present it in a way that kids will grab onto it. Usually it's very interactive. This one is one of our newest ones. This is Dr. Maggie's Grand Tour of the Solar System. My son and I have been reading this on the side. It's something that he finds fascinating. He absolutely adores the solar system. The material in this book is phenomenal, and I love the way that it's broken down into sections, and I love the infographic nature of it. So it's not just walls of text. So it really gives them a good understanding of a topic and being able to condense that down into small segments. What better way to do that than flat books? This is our See Inside series. Atoms and Molecules is one of our newest ones. We have so many in the series. See Inside Your Body, See Inside Famous Palaces, See Inside, oh goodness, there's just so many of them. Exploration and Discovery, Bridges, Towers, and Tunnels, See Inside the Universe, See Inside a Museum, See Inside Religions. So many great titles out there. That's just a few. I love that it takes hard material, hard ideas, to come down to small little bits that don't lose any of the great information. I would have had this as a reference for my high school chemistry classes. It is that good. The material that's in here is not dumbed down. It breaks it down to its most basic components, but the material itself is not dumbed down. Great information in here. Again, small bite-sized nuggets, so they're not overwhelmed with a wall of text, which is so important. Now, last but not least, I did want to mention that we also have the Lift the Flap series, which does have books that I think she would also really enjoy, like our Lift the Flap periodic table. We have Lift the Flap mathematics books. Lift the Flap, the newest one is How Your Body Works, and I love that one. It is fascinating to read. It's a great book. I wanted to share this last one with her, or him. I'm not sure. You didn't actually specify, so I'm going to say your 8-year-old. This is the Book of Comparisons. It does the same thing as the life-size book. It compares, but now it's going to actually compare add our materials to other materials in the world. So there's a page on here that makes it really easy to kind of explain. Let's see if I can find it. It uses fruit to compare the sizes of the planets. And I love that. It takes it to understand so that we see something that we understand the size of and explains it to the child in a different way. So this is phenomenal. I love that book, and it's really thick. There's lots of information in there. Last but not least, I wanted to talk about your 10-year-old who does struggle with reading but loves reading. And I love, 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 love that. And there are lots and lots of ways that we can help. One is, depending on the struggles, what they're going to actually be interested in. So this is Sally Rippin. Sally Rippin actually writes books for her child who has dyslexia. And she's a huge proponent of helping kids where they are. So these books are geared more towards older kids, but they're written in a way that they can understand them or they can see them. So the visual processing is not there. It's not a hard line. I also wanted to mention